Good evening, everyone. My name is Jebin Shaj, and I'm a student at Vyshakh College of Engineering and Technology, Vadakram. I'm delighted to welcome you all to the second day on our workshop on DevOps. Yesterday, we learned a lot about DevOps, and we have familiarized with the concepts of DevOps. Today, we will be diving a little more deep into the practical sessions of it. I would like to welcome Mr. Vyshak B T, our speaker for today. Before that, I welcome Mr. Sharon Biju, the CEO and the founder of Keyshell IT Solutions, to this meeting. It's worth mentioning that he's an alumni of our college. Before starting our session, I would like to invite Mr. Sharon to address us. Please.
Uh, Hi all. Hope you can hear me, right?
Yes, it's audible.
Yeah. Okay. So myself Sharon. I have graduated BTech Computer Science from Vyshakh College in the year 2018. I'm so happy to see like that a lot of students are attending this session. Anyway, very means like it was very inspiring. Okay, so during college times you were attending those sessions and everything like really good thing. Okay, so you were having good exposure, you good mind to study the new technology and everything. Like very good, very happy to see this one. Okay, so yesterday Vyshak just started the session regarding DevOps. What is DevOps? What are the DevOps tools which we are currently using in the industry? All those things actually Vyshak explained, right? So just I means I started my career as a Linux system engineer. After that, I have moved to DevOps engineer. Currently, doing different projects in DevOps side. Okay, so just I want to share my few experience in DevOps side and what are the job opportunities, everything in the DevOps side. Okay, so if you go in the IT sector, there will be you'll be hearing about different sectors: data science, full stack, mean stack, then also DevOps, everything. Okay, so actually DevOps having lot of opportunities. Okay, so many of the people are not aware about what's DevOps, what are the job opportunities in DevOps, how exactly means if a newbie how can reach a DevOps engineer. So many of them are not aware exactly. Okay, so this is not a fully coding thing, so we don't want to, if those who don't having much exposure in coding side also can start this one. So like DevOps having lot of opportunities. Okay, so if you go check Google the average salary of a DevOps engineer, you can see around. Okay, so DevOps having it's like lot of if there is some development project is going there, then there is the need of a DevOps engineer. Okay, so DevOps engineer which leads the DevOps development project and everything. So DevOps having lot of opportunities and everything. So what I want to tell like you like that during you were all of you are studying in college and everything, during your college time you want to decide. Okay, so whether I want to go in which field, whether I want to become a data science field, or I want to become a full stack developer, whether I want to become a DevOps. So according which are all of the area you are in good. Okay, so some of you are very good in programming side, some of you are weak in programming side. If you are, I can really tell you like that, suppose some of you are not having good knowledge in programming side, you can definitely choose DevOps is not a fully programming thing, it's a concept, and also here we will be using different tools. Okay, so just I want to tell the thing is like that if you want to start a career in DevOps, definitely actually in Keyshell, just I as Jebin mentioned, actually like Keyshell actually it is a IT company. Here we are providing both industrial training and also we are providing internet services for different clients across the globe. Okay, so if you want some assistance in DevOps side, suppose if you want to explore something more in DevOps, definitely you can contact us, because we are a team of DevOps engineers. We are working in different projects, so we can guide you what exactly the DevOps is, because we are providing training for different companies in for different experienced professions and everything. We are taking training for different peoples. Okay, so we know what suppose if a new student comes and asks he want to become a DevOps engineer, So we will be able to guide, because we have trained around 500 students across the globe. Okay, so we can guide you, we can teach you, we can tell you the exact concept. Okay, what's the DevOps is. So within 1 or 2 days, 2 hour section can't understand what exactly the DevOps is a vast thing. So just we can tell you in the few hours, we can just tell you the few basic things only we can demonstrate. So I can tell you like that. Suppose you this is a good field, you can choose. If you are not good that much in programming side, you can definitely choose this one. Also, also nowadays developers also know the DevOps things. Then there is a lot of means like if developers also understands these DevOps tools, then also then the work will be very easy. Okay, so like everyone tries to understand the DevOps concept, tools, the cloud thing and everything. So if you want any assistance in DevOps side, you can definitely reach out to Keyshell. So we can help you in all those steps. We are providing training in AWS, Git, Jenkins and everything, also Linux system administration and everything. So if you want some assistance in those fields, definitely you can reach out to us. We will be helping you. Okay, so just I'm handovering to Vyshak. So Vyshak will be demonstrating just a sample application deployment through Jenkins. Okay, so he will be demonstrating it. So just I want to tell what just about the Keyshell and what all the services we are providing here. Suppose if some of you are interested to start a career in DevOps, then definitely you can contact us. That's what I have. I mentioned few things here. So anyway, thanks VJCET for giving this opportunity here. So anyway, I'm handovering to Vyshak. Vyshak, you can start the session. Okay.
Yeah, okay. Thank you, Sharon. Okay. Hi. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Is my screen visible?
Yes.
Okay, okay. So today, first, we will do a sample deployment through Jenkins, and then we will go through a DevOps roadmap. Okay. First of all, so for sample deployment, I have some code, code in Python. Okay, Python Flask. Have you heard about it? Python Flask. Python Flask is a web framework. Okay, it is used to develop web pages and deploy it in the web. Okay. So I have a sample. I have a small sample code here. It's written in Python. It's just a hello world code. Okay. Then yesterday I have told about Docker. Okay. Actually, we are deploying this code in a Docker container, and through Jenkins we will do the deployment. Okay. So Jenkins instance, and there is one prod instance. I have created 3 instances. Instances means 3 servers, 3 virtual machines I have created in AWS. Okay. So okay, this Jenkins, let's and we can access this Jenkins server by using this public IP. In this AWS console, we have many details here, and we can access the this Jenkins instance through public IP. Okay. So it is running on the port 8080. So public IP plus 8080. Okay, I have already logged in. This is the Jenkins dashboard, and here we can create many many projects like freestyle project, pipeline, like it depends on our project. Okay. Currently, I have created 2 freestyle projects. Okay. Okay, I'm creating one test project. Okay, here Jenkins, as I said, Jenkins continuous integration and continuous delivery and deployment is done through Jenkins. Okay, so here we have many options. Like here we can tell the Jenkins server that where the code is coming. Okay, then we can select Git from here. Okay, likewise there are many options. Okay, so first what we have to do is first the developer will give the code to us, hand over the suppose if the developer hand over this code to us. Okay, and it's now having an app.py. It's just a hello world, and then it's having a requirements.test. Here the developer will tell which all packages is needed to run this application. Okay, currently only Flask package is needed, so only Flask is there, and then and one Docker file is created. This actually this file is created by the DevOps. Some developers also do it, but mainly DevOps engineers do this. Okay, before coming to Docker file. Okay, so what's the need of Docker file is that I yesterday told about Docker. Okay, how the way in which we run programs is that inside a VM there will be many Docker images. Okay, that Docker images is created using this Docker file. Okay, Docker images is nothing but like we can think about it as a recipe. Okay, suppose we have a cooking recipe, and we can use that same cooking recipe to make the same curry over and over. Okay, we can use the same cooking recipe. Okay, that cooking recipe here, that cooking recipe is Docker image, and the curry is Docker container. Okay, that is if in Docker file we will explain what the program is about and how it should be run and all. In the Docker file it is mentioned, and with the help of this Docker file and a Docker image is created. It's like a it will have many binaries and many programs which will help to run our program, which will help to run our application. Okay, then that using that Docker image, a Docker container is created. Okay, then if it is working fine, we can push that Docker image to a repository. Like if it is working fine, we are saving it somewhere in the web. Okay, that is Docker Hub, and then from that repository we can use the Docker image. We can pull the image and we can run that program using Docker container. Okay, I will show one example here, so you will get the idea. Okay, this is my app. I have one app.py Docker file and requirements.txt, and I am using an Ubuntu system, and this is the Docker file. It is mentioned here that from Alpine is a Docker image. Then using Alpine, we set up this app using Alpine. Like Linux have many distributions. Alpine is a very small distribution. Like it will only have 7 MB or something. It will only have. I will just connect to my Docker instance. Docker is also okay. I have now connected to this instance. This build instance I have connected. For connecting to the instance, we use a program called SSH, Secure Shell. Okay, and the format is SSH space. There will be a key file. It will be like a credentials, and there will be a username, and there will be a DNS name, public DNS name. Or we can connect through the public IP also. We can connect. Right. Okay, like this also we can connect. Okay, this key is present at my system. This key is present, and this Vyshak is my system's name, and this EC2 user is the name of that Amazon instance name. And here I have Python Flask, and here I have my files, Docker file, app.py and requirements.txt. Okay, and in this Docker file, it is mentioned that one Alpine image is used, and then this I just go through this code. Okay, then this is for copying the contents of this folder to a another directory called Python Flask. Okay, and then it is for making that directory the working directory, and then it is for this this command is for installing updating Python and installing the requirements.txt. In requirements.txt, we already have mentioned that we need Flask for it, and if any another requirements is there, we will mention it in this file. Okay, and then the port is mentioned, like Python Flask is using 5000 port, so that port also is mentioned here. Okay, I hope everyone is somewhat clear about it. Okay, now I have already installed Docker in it. Okay, like we can just check it by just running the command Docker. So options. Okay. Then these are all the Docker images present here now. Okay, so first we have to create a Docker image. These are the all the Docker images present here. So now we have to create a Docker image. Okay, this is the I'm now showing the manual way. Okay, so for creating the so for creating the Docker image, we need a Docker file. Okay, so that Docker file is there. So using that Docker file, I'm creating the Docker image. Okay, for that I use the command docker build -t. This is for naming the Docker image, for giving the name. Okay, then that steps that steps mentioned in the Docker file have run. Okay, that from Alpine, copy, work directory, run command, then expose command, then there was a cmd command also. Okay, that all commands run. Then Docker images. This is the this is the Docker image created now. Okay, actually there are similar Docker images. That's why it's not showing in the top. Okay, I have given the command docker build -t, and I have given the tag 44. Just a random tag I have given. So this is the Docker image created now. It will have a repository name, and it will have a tag image ID, and when it was created. Actually, these all images are the same. That's why it's showing 49 minutes ago. Okay. Okay. Now, by using this Docker image, we have to create a container. Okay. I already told that our program will run on the container. Inside the container, our program will run. Okay. Now we are inside a virtual machine, and we have to create a container inside this virtual machine. For that, this is the command to create a container. Okay, a container name is given, and then port is given, and this port will be the port of the virtual machine, and this port will be the port of container. To this, a Docker will connect port 80 of our virtual machine to port 5000 of the container. Okay. Okay, so this is our container. This is our container. Okay, it will have a container ID, then image name. Image name will be like Python class plus tag. That will be the image name. Then which command is running. Then when was it created, and the status. Okay, so it's showing that from 80 the port is forwarded to 5000. Likewise, this is for IPv4 and this is for IPv6. And like I said, I have done all this in this instance, on this build instance. Let's try accessing this public IP of this instance. So, and this was the output. Hello, it's a simple hello. Okay. Is this clear for everyone? Okay, so this is the manual way. Okay, so we have created a Docker file, and from that Docker file, we have created a Docker image, and from that Docker image, we have created a Docker container, and our application will be running on the Docker container. Okay. The main advantage is that we can run multiple containers like this. Like we can run for now port 80 is used. We can run it. Now we have two containers. Using the same image, we can create multiple containers. Okay, image is like a reference for creating container. Okay, so using the same image, we have created two containers, and one is running on the port 80 and another one is running on the port 81. Yeah. Another one is running on the port 81. Okay. Now this is the manual approach, and now suppose what happens in a company is that the developer will push push or upload his code to the repository, that is Git, or we are using GitHub here. Git is actually Git is a technology, and using that technology there are many web interfaces like GitHub, Bitbucket, and GitLab. Likewise, many version controlling system is there. Using the underlying technology will be Git. By using that, many web interfaces will be there. Okay, this is GitHub. Okay. So I have pushed our Python Flask into, which means I have saved that repository in my GitHub account. Okay, this is the repository, and it is currently it is a public one. Okay, and then here also we have that three files: Docker file, app.py, and requirements.txt. Okay, and here in Git, GitHub is mainly used for coding purpose, for saving the source code and all, and for fetching the code to Jenkins, and for deploying purpose. For everything, it is a very useful tool. Okay, and what happens is that developer will push the code, that is upload the code to a branch. Many branches will be there in Git, like main branch, test branch, and from that test branch, our Jenkins will fetch that code, and that code will be deployed to a test our test environment. Okay, and from that test environment, if it is continuous, I yesterday told about continuous delivery and continuous deployment. Okay, and if it is a continuous delivery, a manual intervention is needed. Okay, so manually our project manager or someone will check the code, and if it is okay, he will merge that code to main branch. Okay, the code will be in test, and he will merge that code to main branch. Okay, and after merging the code, it will be deployed to our production environment. Okay, that will be the flow. Okay, so currently, while using Git, we can sorry, by using Jenkins, this is Jenkins user interface. We can mention our Git's link here. It will be providing a we can fetch. I said we can fetch the code from Git, right? So we can fetch by using HTTPS, SSH, GitHub CLI, etc. We can fetch the code. I'm currently using HTTPS, and I'm just copying this link. And we can use that repository, and we can mention that if anything happens at Git, like if any new code comes at Git, this pipeline should work. This is called this pipeline should work. So if I click this, if anything happens at Git, like if any push happens, anything happens, this will work. And here I will execute. There are many options here. I can execute my shell script, or any script I can execute from here. Okay, so currently we need to if the currently suppose if any new code comes to test environment, that code will be placed in our test server, okay, or test environment. And if any code if it is success, and if manually someone said it was okay, it should go to the production environment. Okay, so I already created one. Okay, my repository's URL is given, and then my branch is given here. Okay, I have given this is Flask. I have this is for Flask test. For test environment, I have given this name, and at the GitHub trigger I have given, and then I have given a script for it. And on GitHub also I have to do one thing. On GitHub there is one thing called webhook. Okay, webhook is a webhook is something which looks into the code change and all. And if anything happens, here we will give the and here we will give what should happen next. Okay, so here I have given my Jenkins public IP, or if I have a domain name, I can give that also. Okay, that I have given /GitHub webhook. This is the format, and the type is application JSON, and I just created this webhook. So through this, if any change happens in a test environment, the code will be pushed to the test instance. Okay, test instance is I'm using this build instance as I'm using this build instance as my test instance. Okay. So now I'm just deleting these two which I created. Okay, so now no containers are running in this build instance, and Okay, now containers are running in this instance. Okay, and now now I am editing this code. Okay. Okay, and now I am currently at my test instance. Sorry, test branch. I have set git is on git. I have created one test, and there is one main branch also. Okay, so I am just editing the app.py. Okay, I have edited that, and I have to upload that code into my GitHub repository. Okay, that is some comments. This is showing which file I have edited. Like I said, GitHub is a version control tool, so it is showing what are all the changes, like that. Hello world has changed to hello world from container flask. Then I am mentioning my branch here. Okay, then I'm changing these changes to my test branch. So here's this is GitHub's token. Instead of password, token is used. I forgot this. This command is used for adding these changes to the repo. Okay, so I have changed this. Return hello world to hello world from container flask. Okay. So we can see the change. Okay, now this is the main branch, and while opening the main branch, it's only hello world. Okay, and while opening the test branch, it is hello world from container flask. So the both branches are having the both branches are having different code. Okay. Okay. Then if I come to okay, so my server time is now 3:50. Okay. The one here in Jenkins, here there will be a build history. like when was the last build and all, here it will be there. Okay, so right now one build is done. Okay, at 3:15 is my server time. Okay, here we can get the log, like what all, like what all I have done in the instance. Here we will get, like you will remember this step from Alpine, copy. These are all done. Now these are all done through Jenkins. Okay, and this was the instance. So, so hello world has changed to hello world from container fast, and I also have mapped a domain name to it. Okay, my domain name is test.vyshak.xyz. Okay, it also is showing hello world from container fast. Okay, domain name is given by there is a service called Route 53 in AWS. In AWS itself, there is a service called Route 53. Here we can manage our DNS records and all. We can manage. We can buy the domain from here itself, or we can manage the domain here and manage the domain brought from another like domain, GoDaddy or Namecheap and all. So here I have given that test instance IP here as a subdomain test.vyshak.xyz, and production I have given vyshak.xyz. Okay, this is my production instance. Like I said, I shown in the GitHub. Production instance is now having the same having the older code. Like this is the test branch. And this is the main branch. Main branch is used for production instance currently. Okay, so main branch is having a load. Okay, I also mapped that also. So test instance is having now a hello world from container fast, and main branch is having just a hello world. Okay, so now a manual like in continuous delivery, a manual intervention is needed. Okay, now while coming to GitHub, sorry. This is showing. Now we have to merge. Like I said, we have to. So the project manager looks into our test instance, and he said it is okay. He test and testing everything is done, and it is okay. So he now merges this code to our main branch. This is done from GitHub. Okay, and then there is an option called then compare and pull request, and we can write any comment and create pull request. This is done. Create pull request is done by the developer, and then the manager will, if everything is okay, he will merge the pull request. After merging, only the test and main branch will become same. Okay, then merge, confirm merge. Okay, now it is showing merge, and code on main branch app.py also it is showing this code. Okay, and here we can show we can see this task is running. This is another pipeline called fast prod. and the script under this have run, and now the production also is having the same code. Okay, this is the process, and for that I will first show the what I have done in test. Okay, and this is the overall process. Okay, so first the developer pushes the code, and it will automatically go to the test instance, and from the project manager will check in the test instance, and if everything is okay, he will and the developer will create a pull request, and if everything is okay, the project manager will merge that two branches. Okay, here what I have done is that I now while coming to build instance, we can see this. This is the test instance running. Okay, I have created. I have cloned my latest code. Then I have changed the branch to test. Then if any Docker is running named fast, I'm stopping it and I'm removing it. And then I am building using this code. We have earlier we have manually built. Instead of that, I have set up this script. So using this, we are manually building. Sorry, we are automatically building. And for tagging for tagging, we are using build number. This build number is from Jenkins itself. Okay. Every company will use another versioning type. This build number I just created for a test purpose. So this is coming from Jenkins itself. Okay. So this our build number. So image is tagged using build number. Our build number was 24. Okay. And I've said about Docker Hub. Docker Hub is I tell about for saving a Docker image, we have Docker Hub. Okay. So right now here we are saving that Docker image to Docker Hub. Okay. Docker Hub have both public and private repositories. Right now I'm using public repository. So Docker Hub is like GitHub. GitHub stores codes. Likewise, Docker Hub will save our images. Okay, that's the difference. Okay, here in Flask test, here I am naming my image as this. This is my Docker Hub's name, and this is my image name. Okay, custom image name. Okay, I'm naming it as Python Flask test, and I'm giving a build number. Then I am pushing that to my Docker Hub. Okay, so my latest image will be in the Docker Hub. Okay, maybe 10 minutes ago or 2 hours ago. Okay, and then next is the Docker run command. Okay, from port 80. Port 80 is forwarded to 5000 of the container, and Flask it will stop it, and on another and it will remove it. Okay, then Docker run command for running the container. Okay, and this command is for deleting the unwanted images. Okay, this is what happening in on test on test class test. This is all done for creating that test environment, for pushing new code to test environment. Using these steps I'm creating. Okay, let's just make one more change, and I think it will be more clear. So I'm again editing my app.py. I'm checking status. So this line is modified as this line, and I'm adding that, and I'm connecting. Then a new code is created, and we can see the 25th build is happening. This is the real-time log. So first I have fetched my code from the repository, then docker build command. Now it is showing success. Okay, then this is Docker Hub. Okay. Here also, a few seconds ago, a new image with the tag 25 is created. Okay. This is all, and the Jenkins server is using the build system for this. Okay. So now we have the 25 tagged image here. See, it is created. It's showing created a minute ago. Okay, Python. This was my name, Vyshakh B T, Python fastest, and this was the build number. Build number is given as tag, and this is the image ID. Okay, and also docker run command also is executed. So status like it's about a minute, and it is using 25 tag. And we're coming to our test environment. You can see hello world. That is modified. Okay, now the production environment is using the old code. Okay, so now the developer will open his Git account, and he will create a pull request. new pull request is created. This is done by the developer, and the manager will approve it if everything is okay. So manager will confirm. Before that, I will go through this production. What all script I have done in production also I will go through. Okay, on production, what I have done is first I connected to the test instance. Okay, that is build instance I have connected, and from there I have fetched the current tag, current image and tag I have fetched, because the same tag we have to use in because the same image we have to use in our production environment. Okay, so I have fetched the current tag which is running in production, running in test, and I have fetched that, and I have just given that tag's name to a variable called dev image. Okay, and then I'm creating a new tag using docker command, and I am creating a new tag called and my image name will be Vyshakh B T Python fast and prod. Okay, and here another build number. This is another pipeline, and another build number will be given here. These steps I have given, and then I am connecting to my production instance. This is my production instance. This is my build and test instance, and this is my production instance. Okay, then I am creating to my production instance, and I am stopping if any Flask prod container is running. I am stopping that, and I am removing that container, and I am simply running that by docker run command, Flask prod, then Vyshakh B T Python fast prod, and this same build number. By using the same build number, I'm running that, and in build instance itself, it is pushed to my Docker Hub account. Okay, Vyshakh B T Python fast prod build number. This was the test instance, test repository, and I have one prod repository also. Okay, so currently it is using latest is 22 tag, and this one is 25. The tag is coming from my build number. Okay, so let's merge this also. Okay, this was the 22. This 22 is this 22. Okay, then okay, I'm confirming the merge. It is using the I will edit. We can also edit from here also. If it is very small, it is not. We can edit from here also. Something happened at merge. So I'm committing directly to the main branch. Okay. Now at A23 build has started. Okay, this is the real-time log. Okay, this access. So in my repository, 23 tag has come. Okay, and it was hello world from container fast. Now it's back to hello world. Okay, so this is the process. Okay, so we have used Jenkins for the wall integration. We have used 3 instances, one build instance and test instance, and one production instance, and one Jenkins is running in another instance. Okay. You have any doubts?
If anyone is having any kind of doubt, please do ask now. Please raise your hands if you are in the audience session.
How to use HTTPS protocol? For HTTPS protocol, we have to buy SSL certificate. We have to buy. We also can get a free certificate from Let's Encrypt. There is a package called Let's Encrypt. It will give free SSL certificate. It will be valid only for 3 months. After 3 months, we can regenerate the certificate for another 3 months. Okay, it can be automated through. So it will be automated. So it will after first purchase, it will be automated. Okay, and now let's go to a DevOps roadmap. Okay, this is one DevOps roadmap. DevOps roadmap means how to become a DevOps engineer. Okay, in what all area you should have knowledge, and like that it is discussed here. Okay, so first we need to have a basic or an intermediate knowledge of a programming language. Okay, Python is recommended, and we can also have Ruby, Rust, JavaScript, Go. That will be an added knowledge. Okay, Python is mostly recommended. Okay, then we should have we should have a vast knowledge about the OS concepts. Okay, like we are currently using Linux environment. Okay, like Ubuntu, CentOS, then Red Hat based, etc. we are using. We need to have understand different OS concepts like input output management, virtualization. I have told about yesterday. Like one big server is divided into many servers, and the resources will be shared. Okay, then memory, storage, and then about file systems. And this knowledge you should have, and then starter management, like how a system is booted up, and then service management. Init is usually the first process while booting up a Linux system. Okay, then service management, that is which all services are running, and about that. Then threads and concurrency, which services are using, how many amount of threads and all. Then networking sockets, like in AWS, for example, in AWS, these 3 instances which I have created now is running on the same network. Okay, we can also run instances in another network, like another virtual network and all. We can create and use. That's the advantage of using cloud. Okay, then networking concept should be we should have knowledge and about sockets, like which port we are running, which port is used for SSH. SSH was the command I used to connect to my instance. Okay, SSH means secure shell. Then POSIX, that is SGD and SGD out, SGD error and all. Then if you are using Linux, is mostly recommended. If you are using Linux, Ubuntu or Debian based OSs, then SU Linux, then Red Hat based Linux. Okay, then Unix. If you are using Unix, this is FreeBSD, OpenBSD, NetBSD. These are all recommended. And operating system, we can also Windows is not used for web services. It's very fewly used. Okay, and then operating system, then learning about managing servers. Okay, you have in Windows you may have heard about SAMP, XAMPP, and all. In Linux we usually use Nginx, Apache, and all. Okay, and then Linux, actually Linux knowledge is very must for becoming a DevOps engineer. Like we will be using, mostly we will be using through terminal. This is terminal. Okay, we will be running commands through terminal. This is my system's terminal. Like I can, like there are many commands. This is command for just for showing my partitions and all. And this is showing my RAM and my swap memory, and there are many commands. And there is many commands. Okay, so Linux system knowledge is a must. Okay, because after we have seen that by using Jenkins also we are running that commands inside a Linux system. Even Jenkins is running inside a Linux system. Okay, so Linux knowledge is a must. Then learn to live in a terminal, like this is the terminal. We have to very familiar with the terminal, and there are these are all commands. Okay, screen is one command. TMX is command. Then this is terminal. These commands are called terminal multiplexes. Like if you are example, if we are uploading a large amount of data through a terminal, and we have to use the terminal. Okay, so we have to transfer the data transfer to like background. Okay, so we use screen command for that. Okay, so it's like opening a window inside the terminal. Okay, so screen will be doing the uploading process, and at the meantime we can use the terminal. and then process monitoring. Like these are the commands for these are all Linux commands. Linux commands for monitoring the process. Like top. These are all the processes running. These are all the commands, and it's showing the CPU usage. At the real time, it is showing the CPU usage. There is command called W. It will showing the current load. Okay, and then which all users have logged into the terminal. It is showing. There is many process commands like FPS. These are all the processes that is currently running PSOs. Okay. This is system D. There are many processes which will run right after booting itself, and there will be many processes that we will be running. Like if we are running application, that also will be showing here. Like this Docker. Stop it. LS off. These are all commands for monitoring the process. Okay, then these are all commands for monitoring the system's performance. Like your stat is for input output statics. Like we will be using a hard disk or SSD for monitoring that performance. These are the commands. Then these are some network commands, network tools. Like trace route is like if you are accessing a site which all through which all servers it is going, the request is accepted, and ping you may have like if we are able to connect to the instance, like ping. This is ping command. Okay, and there is nmap. These are, then there is netstat. Netstat is commonly used. Netstat. Like we can see which all ports are currently using. So currently 80 port is using. Currently 22 port is using. 22 port is using for SSH connection, and 80 we were using for Docker. See, yeah, 80 port is using for Docker configuration. Okay, likewise, there is many. There is one command called dig. Example dig. It will show my IP address, which I have added. Okay, it will be showing. It is for getting details about a domain and all. You will using dig command. And then learn bash scripting. And then Vim, Nano, and PowerShell are like editors. Like this is Vim editor, V8. This is Vim editor. Or these are all editors. Nano, these are all editors. Then compiling apps from source like GCC for compiling C programs, make and all. Then test manipulation tool for extracting the data from test. Like right now I use grep. Like there are many commands. Okay. Then cat is for showing without entering to without V8 to 5 we can show the details at terminal itself. Right? that is cat, and others. These trace, dtrace, and these are traces for getting the in-depth detail of a process and all. We can use trace, and for example, history, we will get the details of the commands we have run. Then df, showing the partitions and all. Showing right now I am having 8 GB partition, and Linux will be starting from / directory. That's why we okay. Okay, and other things we have to know about network side is whitelisting, gray listing. That's that's like blocking certain IP addresses and all. And then OSA model you may have learned, like network model, transport layer, network layer, some layers. Then emails, SMTP servers. These are email servers. Then HTTPS. HTTPS means secure. If we have a SSL or TLS certificate, we can convert. We can access the site through HTTPS. Okay, like this. The site is using SSL certificate. Then SSH, secure shell for connecting to our instances. Then FTP for file transferring, then port forwarding, then domain keys. Then another one is how to set up a reverse proxy, caching server. These are all big topics. Load balancer, firewall. Reverse proxy means we will right now we are accessing the server directly from our IP. Okay, on production and on we will not be we will not use it like that. We will give a intermediate server between them. So if we try to get the details of the main server, we can't get like if someone tries to exploit our website, they can't do that. Okay, for that and for load balancing purposes also, we will be using reverse proxy. Then caching server will be using in there will be DNS servers and all that will cache our website's IP address and all. For that, there is caching server. Then these are all commonly used web servers: Nginx, Apache, Tomcat, IIS. Okay, then infrastructure as a code. Okay, right now we have written a Docker file, and we have every programs that sorry for if we are for example we are using Flask applications. So for the programs required to run that Flask application are contained in that container. Okay, we can right now we are running that in AWS. We can use the same image and we can run. We can take an instance in Azure or GCP or in local also. We can use the same image and we can reuse that. That's containers and Docker LCX. That's a concept of infrastructure as a code. Okay, then GitOps, like using Git also we can manage the infrastructure. Okay, then for mainly we will be using Terraform for infrastructure provisioning. That is like here I have manually created these 3 instances. Instead of that, we can create that instances through code. Okay, for that we will be using Terraform. Then there is a tool called AWS CDK. The need for this is that if we, for example, if we need to provision provision a 50 servers, we can do that easily through code. Okay, and it can be also right now I earlier told that we can create virtual private networks and all. Okay, that too we can easily create through Terraform and other tools also. Okay, for that infrastructure and provisioning tools like Terraform, then AWS services called CDK, then CloudFormation is also AWS service, then Pulumi, etc. we can use. Then for managing the configuration, like if for example, if we are using Nginx and any web server, there will be many configuration inside that. Okay, and if we have to change that configuration, and if we have 100 servers running Nginx, okay, we can easily change that in Ansible, in configuration management tools like Ansible, Chef, Puppet, and all. Okay, and then talking about containers, I today created a container using Docker. Okay, we can also create and manage containers using Kubernetes. Okay, Kubernetes, and there is one Docker Swarm and Normal. Okay, so for container orchestration, Kubernetes is mainly Kubernetes is used. Okay, so we can there are many advantages of using Kubernetes instead of Docker. Okay, then learn some CI/CD tools. Like we have recently we have looked into Jenkins. There are many tools like GitLab CI and GitHub. In GitHub itself, there is one tool called GitHub Actions. Then Travis CI, Azure DevOps Service. Mainly Jenkins is used in CI/CD tool. It depends on the company. Mainly Jenkins is GitHub Actions is also used. Then for infrastructure monitoring, Prometheus, Nagios, Grafana, Zabbix, these are used like for infrastructure monitoring. We can also monitor our AWS instances from here itself, or like here itself we can monitor. Okay, there are many services in AWS itself for monitoring and notifying via email, SMS, etc. We can use monitoring in AWS itself. If we are having every services in AWS itself, we can use AWS monitoring itself. Or else, if we are having infrastructure in different cloud providers, or if we have some in on-premise and some in AWS itself, we can use tools like this, Prometheus, Grafana, Zabbix, etc. Okay, so these are the tools to monitor infrastructure, and for monitoring our application, there are many tools. That tools are these: Checker, New Relic, etc. Okay, then and our applications will be creating logs. Okay, so we have to monitor, or if we have to check some logs, for that purpose we will be saving the logs. Okay, for that we will be using these tools. Okay, anyone tool, or we will be using some of these tools. Okay, like these are the current logs of my container. Okay, like this, every container will be creating logs, or every service will be creating logs. Engineers web service, Apache web service will be creating logs. So for example, in access logs, if any exploit comes, it will be on the access logs. That is from which IP this is coming, and all. It will be on the access logs. So our log should be we will fetch our logs and we will save our logs for a certain period of a certain amount of time. Okay, then about cloud providers. Uh, AWS, GCP, and Azure are mainly used, and there are many other cloud providers like Alibaba, DigitalOcean, Linode, Vultr, Heroku. And then cloud design patterns, like uh, how we are designing our AWS or any other. We will creating an infrastructure diagram for that, and with the client requirements, we will be creating the infrastructure diagram, and we will tell some client will tell it will be highly available. The software should be highly web application should be highly available, and that also that are all coming in cloud design patterns like availability, then data management. For example, some application will be having a high amount of data, so we will not save that whole amount of data in our instance itself. Instance will be having a small amount of memory, because for every storage we use we need to pay high money. Okay, for using for instance storage we will be using high amount of money. For that storage services is there, like in AWS there is S3 services, so we can use that services for storing our data. Okay, for example, we all know about Canva. Canva is using S3 for storing that templates, and it's or Canva is using S3 storage service. And design and implementation, that is cloud design, infrastructure design and implementation. Then management and monitoring. I told that in AWS itself there is monitoring, and and managing the whole infrastructure in the cloud. Okay, that's all. And we will in this site there is, if we want to study about Kubernetes in detail, there is another that roadmap for that also. Okay, this is the main roadmap for DevOps. Okay, is everything clear? Okay, so that's it for today.
Okay, I think everything is, people are okay with your class and everything is clear. So, so dear participants, on behalf of FOSS VJCET and the May the FOSS Be With You program, I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to all our actively participating students in this online workshop. I thank you, Mr. Vyshakh B T, for such an engaging and such an informative workshop on DevOps. As you know, this is the end of the workshop by the FOSS VJCET as part of May the FOSS Be With You. And we have marked the month-long, we have created such a huge mark among, I think we have participants from all over Kerala, and we have so many participants from outside Kerala too. And it really did make a mark on a lot of students across India. And first and foremost, I would like to express our sincere appreciation for Visjodi College of Engineering and Technology for allowing us to conduct such an amazing program. I would also like to extend a special thanks to our Sinta ma'am, our FOSS coordinator, for her continuous support and guidance throughout this event. Her wavering dedication and commitment has been an instrument in making this program a success. Additionally, I would like to express our gratitude to Baby Francis, our senior force lead, for providing invaluable guidance and support. Without him, we couldn't, we won't be able to conduct such a smooth and nice programs throughout this month. And a big shout out goes to Mr. Varun, Eldo Peter, Krishnadev, and Rayan for their technical support and assistance during these workshops. Finally, we are delighted to announce that we will be conducting a hackathon, FOSS-athon on DevFolio from 24th May to 21st May. We encourage all of you to participate in the hackathon, and we will be releasing the posters just after this workshop. So make sure all of you are all of you make sure to participate in that hackathon. There will be a prize pool of $1,500 for projects based on blockchain, and if we have more than 500 participants, we will be getting swags and t-shirts from DevFolio. And the registration is free, of course. Once again, I would like to thank all of you for participating in our program and making this a huge success. Thank you all. Good night.
Okay, thank you. Good night.
One more thing, please don't leave the WhatsApp group. We will be sharing all of the certificates as soon as the hackathon ends by this month itself. So make sure to stay in the WhatsApp group and please don't leave it. Thank you, Aisha, once again. Thank you for your class. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you for VJCET for this wonderful opportunity. And I thank my CEO of Keyshell, Mr. Sharon. Okay, that's it for today. I have it's 9:40, so I'm not delaying it further. Okay, thank you. Good night.
Okay. Good night.